You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Sheila scrambling and Will's big plan. It's Belynda from Soap Dirt, and we have got predictions for Will and Electra, Steffy and Taylor, Sheila and Deacon, Taylor and Deacon, and also for Luna. And if you're not following us, reach down, hit that subscribe button. Let's dive in. Our very first prediction, Will and Electra move in together. And it's in a house that has seen a lot of violence, maybe the most on this show. So next week, spoilers, have Will telling Electra he's the luckiest guy in the world and he's kissing her. In the promo, we have Luna freaking out when the guard shows her Will's social media with a photo of him and Electra looking really happy with the hashtag new digs. Luna goes berserk. She thinks they're building a house together. So while the promo sounds like they're building a house together, you know, obviously Will and Electra are moving in together, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be moving into the beach house. So what's funny about that, them moving into the beach house, there's just so much bloody history there. You know, I mean, Bill would have had to have Liam, Sheila, and Luna's blood all scrubbed off the floor after the EMTs took Luna away, took Liam away, took Sheila, and now her 8 toes away. I mean, the beach house is spare. The last person to live there was RJ, but without explanation, he evaporated. I just love how Bold didn't even bother to explain that he just disappeared, like he never existed. Poof. Anyway, so it's a nice place, and they wouldn't need to build a new set. You know, that'd be good for Bold to save money. I'm sure it would be really infuriating for Luna to find out that Will and Electra have settled down in the place where she almost bled to death after Liam shot her. It's like adding insult to that injury. And, you know, I'm sure with Electra and Will moving in together, this is a whole new incentive for Luna to work hard to get herself out of prison to make that twisted fantasy she has about Will come true. Our second prediction, Steffy grills Taylor about Deacon. So next week, Hope's telling Steffy that therapy has been really beneficial for Deacon ever since he started seeing Taylor. And there's some other spoilers about other people asking her about working with Deacon, like Deke talks to her next week as well. So if you recall, Sheila raved to Steffy about how amazing Taylor is and how she's really gotten through to Deacon and helped their marriage. I do expect Steffy to chat with Taylor and mention that both Sheila and Hope brought up the fact that everybody's raving about the miraculous work she's done with Deacon and how he's so happy to be her patient. If Steffy gets any hint at all from Taylor, a little smile, a dreamy look, anything that indicates there might be a spark there, I absolutely think Steffy will grill Taylor and ask, is there something more to you and Deacon than just doctor-patient stuff? I wonder if Steffy will sense there's a vibe there. And if she gets a confession out of Taylor that Deacon has the hots for her and that Taylor, you know, has to acknowledge that he's very hot, you know, I think Steffy may worry for her mom that she is in danger, because while Steffy does want Taylor to have love and a man who puts her first, taking Sheila's man is like playing with fire when you're already covered in gasoline. I still think there's no way we're not going to be getting some sort of Deacon and Taylor romance, a real love, emotional, physical, all that. And I think it is coming soon. And Steffy may ferret something out of her mom. Our third prediction, Sheila is struggling to reconnect with Deacon. So next week, Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Taylor is over with Sheila and Deacon at Il Giardino. Looks like Steffy's going to talk her into going to open mic night there. I don't know if they're going to hear Daphne sing or if somebody else is going to get up there. I don't know if Taylor sings. So Sheila tells Taylor she owes her a lot. There's also a scene next week on Bold and the Beautiful that looks to be a fantasy sequence, because it's Deacon dancing romantically with Taylor at Il Giardino, and I feel pretty strongly this is not real, since Deacon wouldn't romance Taylor right under Sheila's nose where they both work. So What this presumed fantasy, though, tells us is Deacon's fixated on Taylor. He's not going to get over her. He only went back to Sheila because Taylor said to. I don't think he can fight the attraction. I don't think he actually wants to fight it. If Taylor gave him any sort of signal that she's open to it, he'd be at her doorstep. So this week, I think we're going to see Sheila struggling to try and get back to where she and Deacon were before she broke their marriage. I think Sheila can tell their problems aren't solved. The vibe isn't there. She can't just call Deacon daddy and make things better. And if he tells her to stop calling him that, that's a huge red flag. I would actually love if he would tell her to stop calling him that because it kind of creeps me out. So Sheila may realize the hard truth that because of her dishonesty about Luna, which she knew was a deal breaker, there may never be a way to go back to the way things were. The damage may be permanent. Our fourth prediction, Deacon strategizes to win Taylor. Next week's Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, again, have Deacon and Taylor dancing and smiling at Il Giardino. But there's some other spoilers where people are talking to Taylor about Deacon and then talking to Deacon about Taylor. So it's very clear Deacon's falling in love with Taylor. He probably wouldn't have gone there because he did love Sheila, even if they weren't this big, traditional romantic happily ever after type of couple. Deacon and Sheila were very happy at one point until she broke their marriage. So Deacon's daydreaming about happily ever after with Taylor, and I think he's going to become determined to make it happen. I think he's only with Sheila till he can figure out a plan to get what he wants, which is Taylor. Deacon used to be quite the schemer. I don't think he's going to do anything criminal or dangerous to get closer to Taylor, but I think he has no problems keeping Sheila in his back pocket out of the way to keep Taylor off her radar until he figures out how to win her. I think Deacon knows he needs to win Taylor first, and then they can tackle the Sheila problem together. Our fifth and final prediction, Luna may fake a suicide attempt. So next week, spoilers, have the prison guard showing Luna that picture of Will and Electra talking about moving in together. She's crying, saying she has to get out of there. And then she is supposed to be making some kind of escape attempt, but from behind bars. That's a lot harder. I think that Luna might either get her cellmate to beat her more brutally so she has to be taken to the hospital, or fake a suicide attempt so that she knows she'll be taken to the hospital, because the hospital will be a lot easier place to try and break out from than the prison. So I also really like the actress who's playing her cellmate. She is very funny, very engaging. She's making the most of that little part. She's totally willing to beat Luna again. I think Luna knows, though, that it won't work. It worked the first time like a charm, but the second time Bill was immediately onto her. So she's going to have to up her game to get out of prison.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.